Okay, welcome everybody. Thanks so much for joining me in this live stream. All right, so in this live stream, I do want to follow up to the video that I had out this morning, as well as the video that I had out last week as well, talking about what the president said in regards to these different distributions of payments. And again, the name that I say all the time, again, it could be rebates, distribution, dividend, stimulus, whatever they want to call it. And again, I know I cover that all the time, but don't worry about the name so much. It is certainly adding a lot of confusion. So I want to talk about exactly what the president said in these couple different statements. Again, I highlighted one of them this morning in that video. I've had a bunch of questions rolling in on that one, by the way, as well as the video from last week that I posted of the president out in a separate interview talking about, yet again, more money going to the people. So I want to clarify what all of this is about here and kind of give some, well, I was going to say timelines. I don't know if that's totally accurate. I don't want to use the word timeline, but I mostly want to focus on that, answer your questions, your concerns, kind of bring all this together, wrap it all up, and kind of explain where we're at right now, what all this is about. And I also want to throw out some other observations that I just want to bring to your attention quickly as well that we probably want to think about as well. And again, I think they are also thinking about this, but we're going to talk about all the details. Okay, so first off, let me spend, I don't know, however long this is going to be, 10, 12, maybe 15 minutes or so, whatever it happens to be. We'll run through a bunch of data here really quickly. I'll just break it all down, hopefully answer a ton of your questions right away, and then we'll get into the chat box. So I don't know, let's just say 15-ish minutes or so. I'll kind of explain everything in as great a detail as I possibly can, and then we'll get into the chat and we'll spend some time there. So if you're joining live right now, first off, thank you so much for watching this. Really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your comments, your questions, your feedback, your anything like that down below. We'll get into the chat here very, very soon. Okay, so as I said in the title there, you can see that $600 to $2,000 payments to almost everyone. Yeah, well, what's all that all about, right? Good question. Let's focus on that. Okay, so a couple months ago, okay, so let's just rewind a couple months ago, and I covered that in the video from this morning as well, but a couple months ago, the president was out. He was grabbing a couple quick questions from reporters before leaving on a European trip for the weekend. One of the reporters asked, are you going to be offering, oh, by the way, this is not an exact quote, but he asked something along the lines of, are you going to be offering a rebate because of the tariff revenues? Okay. And again, this was about 2 months ago, give or take a little bit. The president responded and said, essentially, we're thinking about a little rebate to people of a certain income. He said something along those lines. In fact, I had the clip of the president speaking in the video this morning. You can hear it exactly what he said. It's in that video literally from this morning that I pointed out. And I wanted to bring that video to you because I've had a number of people recently over the last several days here reaching out saying, hey, what did the president say? Like, what's all this about? This is not the statement from last week. Last week, I had a different video of a different statement of the president coming out talking about the distribution of payments, distribution, dividend payments, whatever you want to call it. That was last week, a totally different statement. But this one that I featured this morning is another one that, again, I've had people asking about, like, what exactly did the president say here? So I just wanted to have you see those clips there and hear them for yourself, okay? But anyway, in that one, he did not indicate any dollar amounts specifically. He literally just said, we're thinking about a little rebate, and that's all he said. He did not say specific dollar amounts, okay? By the way, if you want to hear it, watch the video from this morning, okay? I had it out this morning, and in that video, you can literally hear it right for yourself, exactly the words out of the president's mouth. Okay, so that was that. And then, that was on a Thursday, by the way. The very next day, on Friday, we got some information out of Senator Josh Hawley, who is a Republican senator out of the state of Missouri. Again, that doesn't really matter. I'm just giving you facts here. Anyway, the very next day, he said he's going to be introducing official legislation that he's going to be presenting to essentially send out these rebate payments to the people, us, okay? He was going to propose that and introduce it formally. He did, okay? He mentioned that on a Friday, and then the following Monday after that, he introduced the American Worker Rebate Act of 2025, which would call on a distribution of $600, a minimum of $600 payments to us as a profit share from the tariff revenues, okay? That's the $600. Now, now that we got this last statement out of the president last week, I think a lot of us have probably totally forgotten about the $600, and we're like, forget that. We don't want $600 anymore. We're going for the $2,000. Yeah, totally agree with you right there, right? So that's kind of the range that we're currently sitting in right here, right now, is basically $600 to $2,000. That's literally currently the range that we are currently sitting in at the moment because of what the president has said literally in the last 2 months with two totally separate statements talking about the distribution of rebates or dividends, again, payments back to us because of tariff revenues, okay? So that's what that's all about. That's the range that we're currently sitting in. Most recently, the range is $1,000 to $2,000, which I think we all probably like significantly more than the $600 number that was thrown out. But, you know, that's realistically the range that we're currently sitting in. Okay. So now that was the statement from about 2 months ago. Now let's focus on the statement from just not a week ago now. Let's just say a week ago, okay? Now this statement came out of the president in a totally separate interview. And again, at this point, I anticipate you've heard me talk about this. You've seen the video of me featuring the president talking about it. If not, check out the video here on the channel from last Friday, from like, you know, about a week ago. Scroll back here in the videos, you can find it. I don't know what the title is. There's a fire symbol in the title. It's something about, you know, the president introducing $1,000 to $2,000 rebate checks or something like that, distribution stimulus checks. Okay. Anyway, if you want to see that, I have the clip of the president speaking in that one, and you can hear exactly what he's saying there as well. Okay. But anyway, now let's talk about this one really quickly. Now in this interview, the host, and again, I'm not going to act like this is all breaking news. No, I've talked about this many times before, and you've seen my videos out about this, and I've talked about it in the live streams recently. I'm talking about it here because I've been getting so many questions on this and a lot of you reaching out, which, by the way, I've also had a ton of people saying, when? I heard it's coming this month. I heard it's coming next month. What's the timeline for delivery? All of this. Hold tight. We'll get to that here in just a minute, okay? I'll clear the air on all of that in this live stream, okay? So just give me a couple minutes. Okay, so anyway, the president was out last week. The host asked him when he started talking about the distribution of money from tariff revenues back to the people of America, and the host asked him, how much are you thinking? And he said, we're thinking $1,000 to $2,000, okay? That's the range there. Now, let's run some super simple math on this really quickly, okay? According to the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, they're projecting about $300 billion of tariff revenues to come into this country per year. In fact, they're calculating about $4 trillion of tariff revenues over the next decade. So 10-year period of time, $4 trillion. So as we continue to move forward into the future, this number will continue to get a little bit bigger, but they're anticipating about $300 billion a year of tariff revenues to roll in. It's a lot of money, right? It's a lot of money to you and me. But when you compare that to the nearly $38 trillion of national debt that we have, it's a teeny tiny drop in the bucket, right? It's a teeny tiny drop in the bucket. So, I mean, practically like enough water for a little duckling to swim around in, right? Like it's practically nothing at that point, right? Okay. So anyway, that's where we're at. Okay. But that's what they've talked about is $300 billion. Okay. It's a lot of money. Now, here's the thing. Let's run some super simple math on this really, really quickly here. I'm not going to turn this into some math lesson, but let's just look at the numbers and see, does this even calculate out? Do the numbers make sense? I mean, literally back of a napkin, do the numbers pencil out? We got to know that, right? Okay, so let's just use a baseline number of $300 billion. Are they going to distribute all of that to us? No, okay, don't even anticipate that because they're not. If anything, they might distribute, who knows? Depends how much they want to suck up to us. Let's just say that much, right? I think we all recognize that. Who knows? Maybe 50% of it, maybe more, maybe less, but let's just run some math. Okay, so a few years ago, when they distributed the third stimulus check of $1,400 back in early 2021, okay? It was $1,400. It went out to 85% of the population at the time. That was about 186 million people. No, let me take that back. 286 million people in this country of the 335 million people, which is the population, roughly. I'm rounding numbers, obviously, okay? So 286 million people. It's a lot of people that was receiving those payments. That third round of stimulus checks that cost that was $1,400 a piece, that cost about $350 billion to send out those payments to 85% of the population. Now, I've also been very, very clear about this, and I have voiced my opinion on this many times over the years. This is not going to come as any shock to anybody. It shouldn't anyway. I'll say it again really quickly. Although rebate checks, stimulus checks, distributions, dividend payments, whatever you want to call it, are great and would help out a huge percentage of the population, I don't think they should go up to 85% of the population. I think that'd be a major mistake if they did that again. Why? We would see massive inflation like what we saw years ago. We would see supply chain issues. It would mess the whole thing up again. However, do I think that they could distribute, a decent amount of money, maybe 100, 150 billion dollars, something like that, maybe 200 billion dollars to maybe like, I don't know, 25, maybe 30% of the population? Yeah, that would be way, way, way more effective. Okay, for just easy mathematical purposes here, let's just say 100 million people, okay? Population, again, is about 335-ish million people, give or take a little bit. Let's just assume 100 million people for, again, easy mathematical purposes. Okay, 100 million people multiplied by $2,000 would be, well, $200 billion. $200 billion. 100 million people getting $2,000 would be $200 billion. And they're projecting $300 billion to come in. Does that make sense? They could do it. They could easily swing it. They could send out, $200 billion worth of payments to 100 million people, $2,000 a piece, and they could easily do that with the tariff revenues. But that would be 2/3 of the total amount of money that they're bringing in through tariff revenues. Would they realistically do that? Again, they easily could, but would they, right? That's the big question we need to ask is, would they actually do that? Really good question. I don't know. I'm not going to answer for them. I'm not sure. Maybe. And again, like I said a couple minutes ago, it really depends on how much they want to appeal to us and how much they really want to suck up to us is really what it comes down to, right? Okay, so that's that. Now let's run some other simple math here. Let's just say that they dropped it down from $2,000 to $1,000 for 100 million people. How much would that cost? $100 billion. Could they distribute $100 billion of total $300 billion of tariff revenues? Easily. They could easily do that. They could easily do that. No problem whatsoever. And in my opinion, that actually seems pretty realistic. That actually seems pretty realistic. $100 billion to be distributed of $300 billion totally collected. That again, they keep 2/3 and they distribute 1/3. I don't know. To me, that doesn't seem like, that big of a deal for them to do that. Now, again, let's run some more math on this just super fast. What if they only sent these payments out to the lowest income beneficiaries out, or I shouldn't even say beneficiaries necessarily, the lowest income people out there, wherever they draw the line, $40,000 a year, $50,000 a year, something like that, right? So they draw the line at whatever income threshold, but it's the lowest income people out there. And again, it could be fixed income, it could be low income, whatever it happens to be, lowest income beneficiaries and just individuals across the country. What if they whittled that number down to 50 million people, right? So 50 million, it'd be basically like 1 out of every 7-ish people. So 1 out of 7 people across the country would roughly get a payment. And again, let's just say that they still allocated $100 billion to 50 million people. How much are the payments now? $2,000. You see the math on this, right? So they could easily swing that. They could still distribute and still allocate $100 billion of the $300 billion that they have coming in to 50 million people, and everybody still gets in this category $2,000. You see that? So if you just play around with the numbers a little bit, what realistically could happen and what logically makes sense as far as how much could they actually send out, right? They're not going to send out all of it. They're not going to send out $300 billion. We know that for a fact. If they're bringing in 300, they're not going to send out 300. If they're bringing in 300, would it make sense for them to distribute $200 billion? Maybe, but I don't know if I'd really count on, 66% of the money to be distributed to the people and 33% of the money staying with them. I just don't foresee that. I would say maybe they would do like 150 billion, maybe like 50-ish percent, which $150 billion would still be, technically they could carve out, say 75 million people, and 75 million people could still get $2,000 a piece. Okay. There's a lot of ways that they could calculate this and really determine who would get this, how much it would be exactly. And again, if they bring the dollar amount lower, they could send out to more people. If they raise the dollar amount, they could give it to less people, but a higher dollar amount. Again, there's so many different ways that they could calculate this. But logically, I would say this much. If they're bringing in $300 billion of tariff revenues, I would anticipate a maximum distribution of roughly 50% max. That's my opinion on that. Just saying, because they're not going to distribute all that. We know they're not, unless they're really, really trying to butter us up. And in that case, then they may distribute more than, 50%. But I would say whatever they're bringing in, they're, max, I would say probably 50% or less would be distributed back to us. Okay. Now I want to point something out really quickly as well. As much as we dislike the tariffs, and let's be honest, we're paying the tariffs, right? We all know this, okay? This is no mystery. We continue to be told that, oh no, it's all these other countries, they're paying the tariffs. Don't worry, you're not paying it. No, we're paying it. We know better than this, right? We're the ones that are paying all this. It's being passed on to the end consumer. That's us. We're the end consumer, right? You got the wholesalers, you have the manufacturers, the wholesalers, you have the retailers. They all need to maintain their margins. They need to keep the lights on. They need to stay in business. Who pays for that? We do, the end consumer, right? So anyway, so as much as we dislike the tariffs, think of it this way though. And again, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, the tariffs are awesome. These are so good. But I'm just saying, I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon, right? Obviously, the Supreme Court is going to be talking about them. They're going to open it up for argument and discussion. But I don't think they're going away anytime soon. Maybe they're going to be overturned at some point in the future. Who knows? Maybe they don't. Maybe they stay. But for now, they're not going anywhere. But just think of it this way. Think of the tariffs as every time they collect more money, that's potentially translating into a raise for us. And again, I know that sounds really weird, like, okay, but it's a different way to think about this. If they really do rake in, 300, 350, 400, 450, 500 billion dollars in tariff revenues, just think of that as more money potentially distributed back to us, or more money that they don't distribute back to us and that we just have to pay for anyway. So I guess if you're looking for like a positive that comes out of this, well, the potential of that could be this, which is every time that they bring in an incremental more dollar amount of tariffs from tariff revenues, that means that could be giving us potentially a raise in any type of distribution back to us. Now, that's a big, big, big if, right? It's a big if. It's a big risk to be like, well, we may get a raise, right? I don't know. I don't really like that strategy. I'm just saying, if you're trying to look for the positive in this, that could be, one of the positives that does come out of this, which could be, well, if they bring in significantly more, they may be more generous to us and help kind of translate some of that back to us. Lower income people, fixed income beneficiaries, anybody like that. Okay. So anyway, just want to throw that out there really quickly, kind of bring everybody up to speed on where we're currently at. The latest details on all this right here, right now. Okay, now let me clear the air on some of the questions that I've seen floating out there. I've seen this in the live streams. I've seen it down below in the comment section. Many of you here in the community have been reaching out asking this. I'm going to be fair. I've seen it, well, a lot of questions rolling out all around this. Okay, so let's just talk about this really fast. And who knows, maybe these questions are already popping up down below in the chat box. Maybe. Feel free to put your questions down below. I'll get into the chat here shortly and we'll answer questions there. But just let me answer these really quickly here, which is, well, I've seen this a number of times. I've seen a number of people reaching out saying, I heard it's coming in October. Okay, to be fair, we're still in October right here, right now, as I host this live stream. Is it coming in October? I'm just going to say this much. Highly unlikely. Highly unlikely. Unless something catastrophic happens in the next two and a half, 3 weeks or so, I would say highly, highly, highly unlikely that something is going to be coming in October. Okay, we would have to see like a major situation happen in order for something to be coming in October. Okay, so I'm just gonna be fair with you. I would say likelihood of coming in October, very unlikely. I have also seen a few people reaching out saying, it's coming in November. I'm sure of it. It's coming in November. It could come in November. Again, I don't really know if I'd put a whole big bet on that. I'm just saying, okay, if I'm being totally fair with you, I don't think I'd bet on November either. But again, if something were to happen, as in, again, I don't know, major decline in the economy, major crash and burn, major dump of the stock market, consumer confidence, really going down and the economy contracting significantly. There's all kinds of different things. There's many different catalysts that are out there right now. We're teetering on the edge of this cliff. There's not much that's going to take to really blow this thing over, right? So we could see all of this collapse, this whole what is it? What do you say? House of cards? Yeah, I think that's what it is. Anyway, you get what I'm saying here, right? So this little house that's been built out as toothpicks could easily be tipped over anytime, very, very easily with not much of a gust of wind, okay? If anything like that were to happen, again, in the month of October, anything like that, extreme volatility in the economy, the market, stuff like that, that could be a major catalyst, whatever it would take for them to do something like this and do it quickly to maybe set up for some type of November distribution. But again, I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying that could be the case to set something like that up. Not only that, it also kind of sets the stage for a very strong holiday shopping season as well. Now, I'm not sitting here trying to advocate and say, oh, go buy a bunch of junk for the holidays. I'm not saying that whatsoever. In fact, Corey, if you're watching this, don't buy stuff. Stop. Corey and Amazon. You got to be kidding me, right? Anyway, Corey's my wife, by the way. Many of you know her. She's probably watching this. I'm going to get in trouble later. But anyway, you get my point on this. Okay, so think of it this way. What if they all of a sudden gave some kind of distribution in the month of November? What happens then? All the deals come out right around Thanksgiving. What has happened then? If they distributed money in the month of November, wow, where's all that money going to go? I'll tell you where it's going to go, right into the economy. People are going to go out and buy all kinds of stuff because it's cheap. There's deals. There's, flash sales, lightning sales, some sale that's actually not a sale. And they make it like it, make it sound like it actually is a sale. All that money would flow right into the economy. What would that do for the fourth quarter? And what would it do for retail sales? And what would it do for the overall economy? It'd be very, very massive, right? It would look like really, really, really good. Wow. This was a record holiday shopping season. People are flush with cash. They had all this money and they just blew it on all kinds of stuff for the holidays, right? It would look very, very good and give us yet again this illusion that the economy is like so strong and robust. So again, that could be a little bit of a strategy as well. Now, I want to throw something else out there super fast, which is lawmakers, remember, over the summer, they passed the OBBB, the multi-trillion-dollar reconciliation bill. We've talked about it in great detail before in other videos, okay? They passed that over the summer. It was like 2 weeks later after they passed it, lawmakers are coming out saying they're already negotiating and talking about the details of the next reconciliation bill to come. When? Right now, October, November. They literally said it a couple months ago that they were working on it, talking about it, hashing out the details, and it's supposed to be coming right now before the end of the year, okay? Well, guess what they could do in a reconciliation bill if they wanted to? If they just so wanted to do so, could they add a dividend, a rebate, a stimulus, a distribution, whatever you want to call it, into a reconciliation bill? The answer is yes, they can. Yes, 100% they can. They've done it before, and they can absolutely do that again. Would that be a political win? To them, they would think so, right? Would it help them out? I don't know. Again, that's for them to figure it out. I'm just saying, would that be a big win for them? Would it make people happy? Yes. At the end of the day, think of it this way. What are they trying to do as far as strategy goes in front of certain timelines and different things that are coming up? They're trying to strategize to get on, for us to get on their good side, or for them to get on our good side, essentially, right? They're trying to butter us up a little bit and maybe get a little attention and get some accolades before it really matters, right? Because they want some attention, right? It's all about that attention, good old politics, attention, right? So anyway, there's a lot of different things that could happen. Remember, there's also the talk of another reconciliation bill coming early next year as well, in the spring. They've made that very clear as well. So we've got 2 more reconciliation bills coming. One that they've discussed between now and the end of the year, another one coming early next year, as they've indicated, okay? So we've got many different options here where they could easily do something like this and add it. Or if they just wanted to do so, this could easily be on a bipartisan basis as well, where they actually work with each other. Huge shocker that would be, right? Lawmakers actually working together. But they could easily do this where they work together and they could come up and have a bipartisan piece of legislation that says, hey, let's work together to help out the people with maybe a little distribution. Huh. Wow. That would be surprising. They could easily do that, but that is another option as well. So anyway, some of the big questions, some of the big answers there. Now, another big one that I've seen out there, and this one is asked in a variety of ways. Is Social Security included? What about me? I don't file a tax return. What about SSI? Would I get it too? What about seniors? What about people with disabilities? What about Social Security beneficiaries? I'm retired. Would I get it? I have a disability. Am I going to get it? Fill in the letter, fill in the blank with any 4-letter word. Man, I don't get it because I am, XYZ, as in I don't file a tax return. I don't have an income substantial enough or something like that. Okay, let me answer all of those just with one sweep here, which is this. Remember, every single time that they distribute something like this, it is based on income. It's literally based on income, okay? Well, let me say this much. Let's just say that you are somebody that receives a fixed income benefit administered by Social Security. And again, fill in the blank with whatever the benefit is. It doesn't matter. Retirement, SSI, survivors, spousal, SSDI, disability benefits, I said that one, VA benefits, RRB, it doesn't matter. Any of the benefits that are administered. By default, does somebody living on a fixed income benefit have an income below, let's just say 75 grand a year or less? Does somebody living on a fixed income have income coming into them of $75,000 as an individual or less per year? Or as a married couple, is somebody living on a fixed income earning $150,000 or less per year? If the answer is yes, then in general, then yeah, of course you'd be included. Okay. That's the thing. It's based on income. It has nothing to do with, I have a disability. They're not going to give this to me. It has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with that. Or I'm retired. They're not going to give it to me. Again, it has nothing to do with that. It's all about income. They couldn't care less, where you get your money from or, the situation. They're literally just looking at income. What income would be reported to the IRS on a tax return? If somebody were to file a tax return, would that person's income show up on a tax return as 75 grand a year or less as an individual, or $150,000 or less as a married couple? Yes or no? That's it. Okay. Yes or no? That's all they're basically looking for. If the answer is yes, income is below, then winner, winner, you get your check, right? Kind of makes sense? And again, the reason that I say 75 grand a year or less as an individual and $150,000 or less as a married couple, because that is generally the threshold they've been using the last couple times to determine eligibility. Now, sometimes there are offsets, as in, if you owe back child support, so unfortunately, that payment generally is surrendered to pay back, or to pay, I should say, some of the back child support. If somebody owes back taxes, that's definitely going to be surrendered, okay? They're not going to give you money. If somebody owes back taxes to the federal government, not a chance. That money's going to be used to offset essentially the liability or the debt to the federal government, okay? Does that make sense? Other than that, they do have some offsets every so often that are kind of odd, but for the most part, those are kind of the big ones there, okay? So anyway, this, I think, encompasses most of the questions that I've seen, a lot of the answers for you, but I really wanted to hammer this down. So if you're just jumping on right now, what am I talking about? Well, oh man, a recap would be very long at this point. I've been ranting here for however many minutes, but basically, a couple months ago, President talked about the distribution of a little rebate, $600, okay? Now, a week ago, the president talked about the distribution or dividend of between $1,000 and $2,000, okay? So that's kind of the range that we're currently at right now, is between $600 and $2,000 that the president has personally endorsed from these types of distributions. There's many different options that we could do to get this money into the pockets of the people, and all of it would be paid for from the tariff revenues. Quick side note, by the way, I talked about this last week one day. I have no idea which day. It was just in a live stream. I just threw it out there randomly. But they are talking about, and they are moving through the motions of basically distributing $10 billion to farmers from tariff revenues as a bailout, okay? What is that? It's literally a dedicated, highly focused $10 billion of stimulus to farmers, okay? And again, I'm not suggesting that all of you here in this community are farmers. Maybe there's a couple of you. I don't know. I'm just saying my point is they're literally peeling off $10 billion of tariff revenues to give it out to farmers who have been impacted by the tariffs. Okay. So they're literally already doing this for some groups. They're literally already giving bailouts / money to farmers from the tariff revenues to help with them. Okay. Same thing that they talk about for us in the form of distributions, dividend, whatever you want to call it. That's what that's all about. Okay. All right. Anyway, let's jump into the chat. I think I probably answered a lot of it there. If you're joining or if you're watching this live right now, feel free to leave some comments down below in the chat. Drop your questions, your comments, your concerns. I'll do whatever I can to answer those for you. Do my very best for you. I'm here for you. All right. Okay, let's pull this up. This is always the slow part. I apologize. So feel free to drop your questions, your comments, your feedback down below. I'll do my best to answer those. Give me a minute to pull this up. It always takes a minute. All right. Sorry, this is slow. Well, it's not slow. I'm slow. Oops, wrong button. Quick side note, by the way, as I host this live stream right here, right now, we are only a couple days away from Medicare annual enrollment. Okay, this is going to be by far, based on what we're seeing out there, the most important and most pivotal year when it comes down to Medicare annual enrollment. Remember, this is the time frame that opens up one time per year for only a handful of weeks, where literally everybody, every single person on Medicare, 70 million people, roughly, it's actually a little bit less than 70 million, but about 70 million people on Medicare can change their plans, can whatever they need to, and enroll in a new plan, all the different details. There's tons of flexibility. That starts on Wednesday of this next week, okay? It's going to be so incredibly important this year. You've heard me talk about it before in one of the videos. Hundreds and hundreds of plans are being discontinued, eliminated, going away, literally just canceled. And this is going to disrupt the livelihoods of millions and billions and billions of seniors. They're canceling plans at like a record rate right now. It is nuts. I've been reading some of these articles and some of the headlines and some of the details that are out there. So many of these plans are really, well, just going away, and they're changing massively. Okay. Anyway, you see this on the screen on all the the videos, stuff like that. Anyway, the partner here on the channel chapter, again, as you can see here from on the screen, it's 100% for free. I partner with them to help those of you here in this community for free. Make sure that you are properly covered. That's it. Okay. Partnered with them to help you in this community for free with your Medicare, and annual enrollment opens up in a few days, and it's going to get nuts. It's going to get absolutely nuts. I'm going to tell you that much. Absolutely off the wall, bonkers, nuts. Okay. It's going to be nuts. Anyway, reason that I say that is because it's going to be like so much confusion. If you're not confused yet, oh my, it's going to get even worse coming here over the coming days and weeks here, when seniors actually realize how much their plans have changed and like, whoa, this is scary. My doctors aren't in network anymore. Oh, wait, my hospital system isn't in network. Whoops, my doctor's office isn't in network anymore. Oh, wait, my procedures that I need aren't covered anymore. Yeah, what do I do? Scramble, right? Exactly. Why partner with Chapter Medicare? Again, to help those of you in this community for free. Phone numbers here, write it down, take a picture, connect with them. Seriously, they are going to be your best resource, your best alibi, your best friend over the next couple of weeks here, especially as annual enrollment opens up. They're going to help you massively. They've helped thousands of you here in this community already. They're going to help out a ton of you. Anyway, it's going to be good, and I'm going to be here for you, right by your side in any way that I possibly can to help you navigate this. It's going to get nuts. I'm just going to say that much. Looks like Corey is volunteering us to go to a block party. I don't know what's going on. I'm just looking in the chat right now. Corey said something about we could go to your block party. How cool would that be, right? Except social scenarios scare me a ton. Shell Balestra, stop. What are you doing? She's talking about encouraging Corey to go on Amazon and do some shopping. No. Nice. Latanya Smith. Hello, Latanya Smith. Awesome. Yeah, that's very cool. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to throw this out there. I could be totally wrong. Latanya, Tennessee, right? Yeah. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Yeah. Kit Kat waving so many hands around. That's awesome. Kit Kat, thanks so much for being here. Really appreciate it. By the way, I like your name. Kit Kat. Kit Kats were my favorite, candy as a kid. I'm super excited for Halloween. I'm totally grabbing some Kit Kats. Totally grabbing some Kit Kats. Yep. They're awesome. Shell Ballistra and Kit Kat neighbors. That's awesome. Very, very cool. Thank you. Yes, exactly. David Allen, hoping for the best for all families, individuals. Exactly. Thank you, David. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining us. Shell Balestra, exactly. Waving your hands all around. Hope you've been doing well, Shell. Haven't seen you in a little while. Hope all is well. Thanks for being here. Nice to see you as always. Yeah, Larry Wynn in our 60s. Yeah, I see your message there. Again, I'm scrolling up here. I'm going to get to your next message here. But yeah, Larry Wynn, nice to see you. Thanks for reaching out. Yep. Okay. Gotcha. Larry Wynn, I see your message there. Yep. Perfect. Yeah, exactly. Nice. Latanya Smith, I see you there as well. Thank you. Kaling. Yeah, I see you there. Sorry, I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly. Kaleen. I think it is. Anyway, you said my guess is we're not going to be open for the month of October, as in the government shutdown. Yeah, I've been saying this for a while now. And yeah, I anticipate this to last probably another week and a half or so, the shutdown minimum. That's my anticipation. Again, I could be wrong on that. It could open again. Oh, by the way, the Senate voted again today. Failed. Failed. Can't even open it back up. Yep. Kevin Carey is asking, what are they distributing? Nothing at the moment. I've been getting a ton of questions around this, but in regards to the statements out of the president, in regards to this $600 to $2,000 distribution or dividend or rebate, stimulus, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, they're not distributing anything at the moment, but you know, they easily could based on whatever happens here, any type of catalyst that could. Is it Bullhead? Bullhead something? I like it. Thanks for reaching out. I see your messages there. Thank you. I like the name, by the way. That's pretty cool. But yeah, thank you for watching. Yep, Larry Wynn, I see you there as well. You and your wife live in on $500. That's very difficult. Yes, I can't even imagine. Matthew Hill, do lawmakers even work at all? I don't know. Does drinking coffee and just sitting around chatting and arguing, does that count as working? I don't know. Good question. Yeah, Suzanne Downing is saying our farmers need it now. Yeah, absolutely. That's why they're offering this $10,000, or sorry, not $10,000. Let me say that again. $10 billion that they're peeling off here. As Suzanne Downing is suggesting, is that basically other countries are not buying different grains from farmers here in the United States. So they're being impacted by the tariffs, right? So therefore, basically the administration is coming forward suggesting this $10 billion to be peeled off from the tariff revenues to help out these struggling farmers. Exactly. Nice. Shadow P7, I think it is. Hello, nice to see you. Thanks for joining. Yeah, thanks for watching. Really appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Yeah, Sharon Thomas, exactly. Yeah, David Allen talking about $1,000 for the next couple of months would be amazing for low-income families. Exactly. By the way, okay, this was, I don't know, a few months ago or so. But I had a video out and I was talking about this. Super interesting. But there was a report. I'm just going to spend a couple minutes on this, like really quick here. There was a report that was released, and basically they had this acronyms. It was MPC, marginal propensity to consume. But basically what this did is it looked at all these different categories of individuals. Somebody with a low MPC, a medium MPC, and a high MPC. What does this mean? Literally what they found is that somebody with a lower income has a high MPC. Somebody with kind of like a middle income has a, well, you guessed it, a medium MPC. And somebody with a high income has a low MPC. Well, what this basically means is that they found that if they gave these individuals of these different categories $2,000, low income people had a very high MPC. What that means is that within 10 days of getting $2,000, low income people spent 80% of $2,000 within 10 days. And the remaining 20% of that money, the remaining, what is that, $400, was spent over the next 30 days. In other words, what this study, long story short here, what this study really found is that distributing money to the lowest income people is actually the best approach going forward in the effort to stimulate the economy, simply because what happens is that, remember, I say this all the time, I've been saying this literally for years. What is the point of stimulus? To hoard it like a bunch of squirrels? No. Is it to pay down bills with it? Honestly, no, it's not. Is it to stuff it under our mattress? No. Is it to go to the casino and blow it on some games? Nope, not that either. What is the point of stimulus? It's literally to go out to the stores and buy a bunch of stuff. That's literally all it's for, right? They literally give us money, and it's basically like, here, go buy a bunch of junk. That's literally what they want us to do. That's literally what the whole point of stimulus is, okay? Now, they don't physically say that, but they know the just how humans operate is that if we get money, most people, not everybody, but most people will take that money and go spend it. Not only are they going to spend all of it, but they're going to spend all of it plus another 5 or 10% or something like that, right? Have you ever, think of it this way. Have you ever had a gift card for, say, like, I don't know, $25 or $50 or something like that? You go to the store, sure enough, you don't want to leave $1 or $2 on that gift card, do you? So what do? You have a $25 gift card, and what do? You spend 30, right? Because you don't want to leave $1 on that gift card, right? So that's exactly what they bank on. Hey, let's give them $2,000. We know they're going to spend $2,200. Awesome. That's awesome. We got more spending out of the deal, right? So that's literally the purpose of stimulus. Well, what they find, again, from this study was that the lowest income people spend all of the money literally within 30 days, 80% of it within the first 10 days. That's literally the population that they want to get stimulus in the event of the distribution of any kind of money, because they do exactly what they want, as in the government. What does the government want from stimulus that's provided? Spending. That's what they want. Because remember, stimulus is to do what? Stimulate ourselves? No. Stimulate the economy. That's what it's for. It's to stimulate the economy, right? The economy wants to get a little stimulation, right? That's what it's all about. So that's literally why they give it, is so we can go out and stimulate the economy, right? Not so we can go out and just put it in our pocket and feel like we're ballers for a day or two, right? Oh, I'm a baller. I got $1,000 from the government or whatever, right? That's not what it's about. It's about going out and buying a bunch of junk and saying, look, I'm a baller. I got a bunch of junk. You know what I mean? That's what they want. But literally, it's the purpose of it. So the study was actually super interesting, and I'm getting excited as I talk about it because it's so fascinating to me to watch all this. But it's literally what they want us to do. And again, the study went on to show that giving higher income people money has like no stimulative effect. Because what do higher income people do when they're handed $1,000, $1,400, $2,000 when they don't need it? What do they do with it? They hoard it. They put it in a savings account. Let's save it for another day. No, that's not what it's for. Let's pay down debt with it. No, that's not what it's for. You're supposed to go buy something. That's literally what it's for, right? So that's why it's so fascinating, because they continue to find from these studies, giving higher income people has like no stimulative effect at the moment. And that's really what they're looking for. Anyway, super fascinating study. I should make a new updated video on that. I think it's so fascinating to look at this because it's so obvious. What do you do in the next time that stimulus needs to be provided? Do you send it to 85% of the population? No, you send it to like 25% of the population, the lowest income people who you know have a high MPC. You give them $2,000 and you know they're going to spend it. That's bingo. That's golden right there. That's exactly what they want from money being distributed through stimulus. I don't know. Seems like a really good approach. So then you get like this multiple fold effect from the distribution of stimulus. Number one, you give it to the lower income people who actually need the money. The money is then spent on necessities, clothing, auto repairs, whatever it happens to be, food, medical, glasses, prescriptions, I don't know, all kinds of stuff, right? It's literally spent on things that people actually need. Okay, so you got that. You're helping out, it's helping out low-income people, it's stimulating the economy, all things like that. And then not only that, they could technically have enough money to distribute multiple different payments over a certain course of time. If they actually really sent it out to just the people that are actually needing it, it could actually go out to this same group of people multiple times for the same dollar amount. So point being is that they could allocate, let's just say, for example, they could allocate $200 billion, for example, and send it out to 100 million people, $2,000, boom, one time, done. That's it, over. That's not very fun, right? Or they could distribute basically that same $200 billion to a significantly smaller group of people, and they could send it out multiple times for the same cost and get more of a stimulative effect over a longer drawn out period of time. They could literally send out 2 or 3 of these payments over the course of like 2, 3, 4 months that would have this continuous roll of stimulus and just economic activity as a result for the same dollar amount, right? Makes sense? Anyway. Okay, that was a way longer rant than I wanted it to be, but I was excited. It's exciting to me. Nice. Sonia Burchard, is that what it is? Sonia Burchard. I see your message there. Thank you for watching. Thanks for being here. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for watching. Nice. Loyalty in training. I love the name. Loyalty in training. I like that. Very awesome. Yeah. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate you. Hope you're doing well. Yeah. Yeah, Wayne Green reaching out saying those that would get $2,000 would definitely spend it. Yeah, exactly. Yep, 100%. Yes. Yep, Glenn McCormick, I see you there as well. Glenn McCormick. Thanks for reaching out. Yep. By the way, I saw a message that came in that somebody said, why do you give everybody's hopes up? I'm literally just answering questions. I've made it very, very clear. You're not getting anything in October. I've said that based on the situation right now. Okay, so I'm literally just answering questions. I think I've made it pretty clear. Nothing's happening anytime soon, but yeah. I mean, as of right now, that's as of right now here today. Could something change overnight or tomorrow? Yeah, absolutely. Right. That's just based on what we're seeing right here, right now in real time, just based on what we're seeing. Is it Barry Medley? Is that what it is? Barry? I see your messages there. Thank you, Barry, for reaching out. Really appreciate you. Yeah, hope you're doing well. Thanks so much, for, Barry. Really, really appreciate it. Yeah, Kathy suggesting that you would go see your, I think you said grandkids? Yeah, grandkids that you have not seen in 2 years. Awesome. That'd be really awesome. That'd be really, really nice. Yeah, I mean, what a great use for that, right? That'd be so good. Yeah, exactly. So B, it looks like you're maybe undergoing a disability review right now. Is that what I'm understanding? Yeah, sounds like you're maybe on SSI going through a disability review. You're kind of concerned about maybe your benefit. I think that's what I'm understanding from your message there. Yeah, this is probably going to be a delayed process right now with the government shutdown that's in place right now. There's limited staffing to be going through these reviews right now. So yeah, you may see a significant delay to the processing of that review at the moment. Okay, so it could take a bit longer than you're anticipating right now. Yeah, Becky Savage, you're very welcome. Thanks for being here, Becky. Nice to see you as always. Hope you're doing well. Is it Matt Frank? Matt Frank, I see you there. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate you. Hope you're having a nice day. Thank you. Yeah, Michael McIntosh. I think that's probably pretty accurate. Suggesting that lawmakers and everybody like that probably doesn't care a whole lot about just, the low income, fixed income, just the general population at the exact moment. That's probably a pretty fair assessment. Yeah. Yeah, Marilyn Sutton, I think it is. Marilyn Sutton. Really good question. Do you know when? Again, that's all up in the air right now. Again, I'm not sitting here making any promises whatsoever. I've made that pretty clear in this video as well as other ones. Nobody really knows anything right now, but I've seen some people reach out saying, oh, I heard some other guy said October, it's coming next week, things like that. No, not as of right now. Again, I'll keep you posted as we get more information. Still waiting for further updates. Yeah, Nancy Downey, I see you there as well. Thanks for watching. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. Blind Beauty Spiritual Vision, I think it is. Yeah, Blind Beauty Spiritual Vision. Yeah. You said you've been watching for a while and you've been watching the videos for a while. I know. I recognize your name 100%. Yeah, you've been around multiple years. Exactly. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate you and hope you're doing well. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining on the live. This is awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching as well. Yeah. Blind Beauty Spiritual Vision. Thanks again. Really appreciate your nice message. That's very, very kind of you. Is it Desmond? You say that you never get notifications. Yeah, somewhere around, if you're subscribed, by the way, if you're subscribed, there should be like a notification bell somewhere. I don't know. I think it's down below the video somewhere. There's some kind of notification bell that I think you can turn on, like notifications for, videos that are uploaded or live streams, things like that. Again, something like that. Yeah, check that out. Yeah. Rebecca Owen, awesome. Thanks for checking in. Nice to see you as always. Virginia, Rebecca Owen from Virginia. Awesome. Thanks for being here. Oh, Lori is also saying, I never know when you're online. I don't get a notification. Oh, okay. So again, Lori's saying applies for you as the same as Desmond, which is down below the video somewhere. There should be, I think it's like a bell, something. I honestly don't know what it looks like because I can't see it. So, but I think it's like a bell icon or something like that. I think if you maybe tap on the bell or something like that, there's maybe a way that you can turn on push notifications or just notifications, meaning that when I go live or when a video is up, something like that, that you get notified. It's something like that. But yeah. Yeah, Rebecca Owens, that's very kind of you. Thank you so much. Yeah, really appreciate it. Just want to do what I can for you. Again, I know there's a billion questions out there. I totally get that as well. I just want to do what I can, be here by your side, answer questions, spend a bunch of time with you here in the chat, go through whatever I can, answer your concerns, and just be here for you in any way that I possibly can. I totally get it. It's a rough time out there, very confusing, a lot of information. Not only that, there's also a lot of bad information out there as well. I see it just as much as you do, right? So again, got to clarify a bunch of things all the time. Yeah, Desmond is saying, would SSI even have a chance of getting it? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, exactly. Again, not at the moment. I'll certainly keep you posted, but I'm just saying, yeah, for sure. Again, it's always income based. Remember that income based is your income below the threshold. Again, it doesn't matter where you get your income from, as long as it's legit and it's not, something super shady or whatever, which SSI is not. None of that. It's not shady. It's legit. It's 100% legit. Again, you get my point. Play B Esquire, the urban attorney. Am I saying that correctly? I don't know. That's just what my phone is reading to me. I think I'm saying your name correctly. Yeah, thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. Hang on one second here. Yeah, okay, good question. Yep, again, I answered this a while ago. Again, I'll answer it again right here, no problem whatsoever. But this is Play B Esquire, urban attorney, I think it is. Again, that's just what my phone is ringing. I'm not sure if that's actually the name, but that's just what my phone says. Okay, so anyway, you're saying it's still unclear. If you receive Social Security, you don't file a tax return, would you qualify for this? Now, again, I just want to make this very clear so there's no misunderstanding about it. As of right now, they have not approved anything yet. Okay, so I want to make that very, very clear so there's no misunderstanding, nobody coming back saying, oh, you said it's coming next week or something like that. Okay, so I want to make that very, very clear. But here's what it comes down to. Remember, it's always income-based. It's always based on someone's income as a result of the thresholds that they put in place. Generally, the thresholds that they put out there are 75 grand a year as an individual or less, or $150,000 or less as a married couple, okay? So by default, somebody living on a Social Security benefit probably has an income below those thresholds, okay? Just by default, based on a fixed income benefit. There are some people that may have an income above that, but it's a very, very, very small select group of people, okay? But other than that, yeah, for sure. Here's the thing. It's not about filing a tax return, okay? Because here's the thing. If somebody doesn't file a tax return, what that tells me is that your income is below the standard deduction. If somebody does not file a tax return, it's telling me that their income is about 15 grand a year or less as an individual, about 30 grand a year or less as a married couple, because on paper, your income in the eyes of the government is $0, $0 in the eyes of the government. So that's what that means to me, okay? So in that case, those numbers are significantly below the thresholds that are generally in place for any type of distribution like this for those individuals. Does that make sense? Okay. So remember this much. Remember back a couple of years ago, 2020, 2021. That's what I meant to say. Those three payments that we got during that time, they all went out to Social Security beneficiaries, and a lot of people didn't file a tax return. How did they do it then? What was the magic that they did? Social Security literally just supplied the Treasury with a file of the names, the banking info for all the beneficiaries, and said, here's about 70 million people, send them a payment. Literally how it happened. And then the Treasury just said, thank you very much. We will distribute payments. And they did exactly that because they already have all of our information, right? So, yep. Between Social Security, the IRS, the Treasury, they already know how much income you have, okay? They don't need a tax return. I'm just saying. They already know every penny that you have coming to you. They know that about all of us. I'm just saying, okay? It's not a thing. It's not a bad thing. I'm just saying. As long as they keep that information to themselves and it's not leaked or whatever, it's fine. It doesn't matter whatsoever. They need to know that information, and it's okay. It's not a big deal whatsoever, right? So that's okay. Not a big deal. But yeah, I hope that answers your question there for you. And again, I will keep you posted along the way as we get additional information on this. I get it. Very confusing. A lot of moving parts right now. I get it. But anyway, Play B, urban attorney. I hope that answers your question. Thank you. Tamara C. Morgan. Is that what it is? Tamara C. Morgan. I see your question. So are we for sure getting money or not? Oh, that's a loaded question. That's a loaded one right there, okay? Tamara C. Morgan. Are we for sure getting money or not? I'm going to be transparent with you. Right now, no. Right now, no. Could that change tomorrow? It could. Again, I don't know. Nobody knows at this point, okay? I'm just being 100% fair and transparent with you. Right now at the moment, not right now, okay? But the president has endorsed just in the last 2 months, most recently just a week ago, last week at the end of last week when he was out in the interview, and just discussed the distribution of between $1,000 and $2,000 in the form of a distribution / dividend to us. Okay. So that was last week. And about 2 months ago, he talked about another rebate going out. Again, $600 that was introduced there. He's endorsed these ideas. Yeah, just want to clarify this. Again, I've been getting tons of questions around this, which is why I'm hosting this live stream right here, right now. I'm not here sitting here saying, oh, get ready, everybody, it's coming. I'm definitely not saying that. I'm making it very clear that that's not the case right now, but rather being here to answer your questions, your concerns, and everybody that's coming out, reaching out, asking like, where are we at and what's going on with this? Okay. By the way, quick little disclaimer. I meant to say this earlier. Anything that I talk about here in this video or any of the videos is obviously not professional advice. It's not legal advice. It's not tax advice, accounting advice. I'm not your CPA. I'm not your accountant. I'm just some schmuck on the internet. That's it. Okay. Just got to be clear. Okay. Anyway. I mean, I can certainly give you every last little ounce of detail that I have for you, but no matter what, you still got to talk to your own professional about this, whoever that happens to be. I don't know every situation. Every situation is totally different. So for me to sit here and try to say like, oh, this is all personalized advice, not a chance. Definitely not. This is general information. Everybody's situation is so different. Yeah, just have to throw that out there. Yeah, Michael McIntosh, I see you there again. Yeah, good questions. Thanks for reaching out, Michael McIntosh. Yes. Vicky Green, I see you there as well. Thanks for watching. Nice to see you, Vicky Green. Thank you for watching. Yeah, B. Sorry, this has been taking me a long time to get to this question. I apologize. You said a review form different than a court hearing. Yeah. So they do disability reviews all the time. Disability reviews, basically what it is, CDR, right? Basically just a disability review where they look through and just kind of legitimize beneficiaries and kind of just review the situation. Sometimes they investigate a little bit further. But yeah, those are pretty common. Okay, a court hearing is totally different. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of like like a little more escalated at that point, right? Got to go to court and like hash it out with a judge and stuff like that. Yeah, that can get nasty. Ricky Meza. Is it Ricky Meza? Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. I apologize if I'm saying your name incorrectly there. Ricky Meza saying hola. Awesome. Hola. Thanks for being here. I'm learning Spanish at the moment. I know like 3 words, but that's one of them. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Blindado. I'll have to ask Corey what that means. Hola blindado. Blindado. I'm not sure what that means, but I'm gonna ask Corey about it because I'm very curious now. Awesome. Nice. Latanya Smith. Awesome. You want a Kit Kat? Yep, totally agree, right? Jonathan Fada, is that what it is? Jonathan, I apologize. I'm probably saying your last name totally incorrectly. I apologize, Jonathan, but I think it's Jonathan Fada, maybe. You said rock and roll. Yeah, thanks, Jonathan, for being here. I appreciate you. Thank you. And again, I apologize about the last name. Dynasty Young. I like it. Thanks for reaching out. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate you. Yes, thank you, Dynasty Young. Yeah, B, doing well. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate you. Hope you're doing well. Thank you. Teresa Dara is asking, do you really think it's going to happen? It would be very helpful for all of us. And again, you listed off a bunch of beneficiaries. I'm going to be totally honest with you. Right now, I honestly do think it's going to happen. I think we're going to have to wait a little while, though. Okay, I'm being totally fair with you. I think we'll have to wait a little while, but I do think we're going to get it. because of all of the catalysts that are out there. Not only that, in a year from now, we have the midterm elections coming up, which are vitally important going forward. Okay. So my point being is that we have multiple different catalysts, as in we're getting pretty negative economic data that's coming out. That's catalyst number one. We've got the tariffs that are coming in and hammering the economy, hammering the people. That's reason number two. We've got a whole variety of reasons here, catalyst as far as what could distribute, any type of stimulus, rebate distribution, something like that. And then the major one in about a year from now is, again, the midterm elections. So yes, I would say in the next year, again, I don't think it's going to be a year. If they waited a year, it'd be too late at that point. I was being fair. I think we're going to have to wait a little while, but if I'm being fair, I think within the next year, if we fast forward to 1 year from now, call it the middle of October 2026, I think at this point we could be looking back in history saying, remember that, $1,000, $1,500, $1,800, $2,000, whatever it happened to be. I think in a year from now, we're going to be sitting on something. Okay. Again, I don't think it's going to be quite a year, but I do, to be fair, think we will have to wait a few months for this. Just being fair with you. Okay. Yes, because of all the catalysts. And if we drop into a recession at that point, well, I don't like to use the word guaranteed, but it's going to be like as close to guaranteed as you could possibly get at that point. If we drop into a major recession, yeah, stimulus happens every time we go into recession. Okay, I'll go back down to the bottom of the chat. By the way, quick side note again, I want to throw this out there. If you are on Medicare right now, okay, I'm just going to say this much. I got a phone number right here on the screen. Take a picture, take a screenshot right now. You can even get a picture of me holding out my thumb like this. How cool would that be, right? You could sell the picture to somebody for like 13 cents or something. Anyway, my point is, take a picture right here, this phone number that's on the screen for you. I partner with them, Chapter Medicare. It's a free service to help those of you here in this community for Medicare annual enrollment, okay? Now, obviously, you can get help outside of annual enrollment, but that's going to be key for 70 million seniors and basically anybody on Medicare. You don't have to necessarily be a senior. Generally, most people on Medicare are seniors, but obviously, there are people with disabilities on SSDI who are also eligible to get Medicare after 24 months of getting disability benefits. But you get my point. Just anybody on Medicare, generally it's seniors 65 and over, obviously not everybody. But if you're currently on Medicare, if I can say one thing, I love free stuff. I talk about free stuff all the time. In fact, I have kind of a funny little story I can tell you in a minute if you want me to. Because I literally think my parents ran into somebody the other day that watches the videos here. I mean, I literally think they met somebody the other day at a store that literally watches these videos based on what he said to them when they started talking to him. But anyway, that I love free stuff. Okay. Here's the deal. This is totally free. It's a free service. Chapter, they're the advisors there, the leading advisors across the entire country. I partner with them to help those of you in this community for free on Medicare to make sure that you are getting the best plan for your personal situation. And the floodgates for annual enrollment open up on Wednesday of this next week. Okay, my point being is that as soon as annual enrollment opens up, if I could encourage every single one of you in this community to do this, the first thing I would do Wednesday morning, you wake up next Wednesday morning, the first thing I would do, whip out your phone, and I would literally call that phone number because they're going to get absolutely swamped for the next 7 weeks once annual enrollment opens up. And the later on in annual enrollment that we get, the more and more people that are going to be desperately calling, I got to get a quick review. I got to make sure that I'm on the right plan. I need to quick do this before annual enrollment ends. When annual enrollment opens up, I mean, it's going to be busy, but the later and later we get in annual enrollment, the busier and busier and busier they're going to get. Just think of how nice it would be to have that peace of mind knowing that you called early, you hammered it out, you got yourself a better plan, you got yourself better coverages, you saved a boatload of money, whatever it happens to be. How awesome would that be? And you just get to focus on the rest of the year, watching the rest of the details rather than worrying about, oh no, my Medicare plan, oh no, I'm losing my coverages, oh no, my plan has been canceled, whatever it happens to be. And to know that you have that reassurance knowing that, hey, my doctor is going to be covered. I can have a plan that has my doctor within network. my doctor's going to be within the networks that I need. My procedures, my prescriptions, my coverages, whatever it is that I need are going to be within this plan, whatever it happens to be. Okay. Anyway, write that phone number down. Take a picture. Just take a picture, actually. Don't write it down. Just take a picture, take a screenshot, whatever you got to do. But they've already helped thousands of you in this community. A lot of people saving a ton of money. In fact, the average person in this community is saving $1,100 when they're calling that number. It's $1,100. We're sitting here talking about lawmakers approving between $600 and $2,000, wondering, waiting, asking, begging, pleading, and yet we could literally pick up the phone, 5 to 20 minutes on the phone there, and we could maybe walk away from that conversation with $1,100 freed up just of extra money that we all need. I don't know. How amazing is that, right? So anyway, it's going to get nuts. I said that before. I'm going to continue to say that because it is going to get nuts. Nice. Linda Proffinger, hello. Nice to see you as well. Hope you're having a nice day. Thanks for joining us. Nice. Linda, thank you very much, Linda. That's very kind of you. No need to apologize whatsoever. I appreciate the nice messages. Yeah, thank you, Linda. Yeah, Joan, I see your message there. Sorry, not sure how to pronounce your last name, but I see you there as well. Joan, yeah. People need the money, absolutely. Yeah, Abby's saying, hey, you kind of lost me there. I would say this much, Abby, just scroll the video back, watch the first like 15 minutes of this live stream. You definitely don't need to watch all of it. I'd say watch the first like 15 minutes or so. I discussed all the details there, answered a bunch of questions, and then I got into the chat section here, and we're just kind of answering questions and discussing concerns and things like that. So yeah, Abby, just watch the first again, 10, 15, yeah, probably 15-ish minutes of this video. You're going to get a lot of details there. Yep. Yeah, Rita Jenkins, exactly. October 15th, annual enrollment opens up along with a whole boatload of other things that are happening that day as well. Yep. Yeah, Remington Powell, I see you there as well. Thanks for joining. Nice to see you, Remington Powell. Thank you for being here. Nice. Matt Frank is saying it's cold outside. Yeah. Thanks for reaching out. Appreciate you. Yeah. Stay warm out there wherever you're located. Thanks, Matt. Yeah. Penny saying, yeah, my income is way lower than that. Exactly. Yep. That's the case for a lot of people. Exactly. Thanks, Penny. Yeah, Remington Powell, I see you there again. Thank you for reaching out. Michael Perry, hello, Michael Perry. Thanks for being here. Good evening. Hope you're doing well. Thanks, Michael. Nice to see you. Yeah, Becky Savage, again, talking about the notification bell, it looks like. Yep. Nice. Decades of Music Time Machine. Awesome. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for checking in. Yeah, Decades of Music Time Machine. I always enjoy your name. That's awesome. Thanks for reaching out. Nice to see you as always. Nice. GG Garrett. GG Garrett. Hello. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate you. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for watching. Texas Grandma. Is that what you said? GG Garrett. Texas Grandma. Awesome. Thanks for being here. Matt Frank. Thanks for being here as well. Again, appreciate you. Thanks for being here, Matt. Stay warm out there. Yes, you said it's cold. Brenda Amos. Brenda Amos, I see you there as well. Thanks for reaching out, Brenda Amos. Really appreciate you. Hope you're having a nice evening as well. Abby. Abby is saying the rich don't care about the poor. Again, I don't want to sit here and like push back on that, but I wouldn't always say that. I'm not trying to sit here and stick up for rich people. I'm really not. But I'm just saying this much. I think they care a lot more than you think. I really, really do. The reason that I say that, again, I'm not trying to sit here and be like, oh, rich people are the best. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying, look at what they do with their wealth. They set up these foundations. They donate like billions and billions and billions of dollars. It's like they donate a ton of money. They actually do a lot of philanthropy. So I wouldn't say that. There's definitely, don't get me wrong, there's definitely some very rich people that don't give a rip about anybody. That's for sure, for sure. But there's also some very good, very, very, very wealthy people that have a lot of money and give a ton of money away. So yeah, I would say actually one of the, what's her name? Mackenzie Scott, Jeff Bezos' ex-wife. Is that her name? Mackenzie Scott? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Anyway, she's a multi-billionaire. She gives away tons of money. Like, it's ridiculous how much money she gives away. I don't know how much money she has, multiple billions of dollars, but she's giving away money like left and right in like tons and tons of money all the time. She's just one example, but most of these huge, mega rich people have foundations and charities, and they're doing philanthropy and they're doing all kinds of stuff all the time. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Jerry Shepard, hello. Jerry Shepard from, you're from Columbus, I think Columbus, Georgia, but you live in New York now. Awesome. Thanks for reaching out. That's very, very cool. Yeah, thank you for reaching out. Yeah, Jerry Shepard. Thanks for reaching out, Jerry. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, B, you're very welcome. Thanks, B. Nice to see you as always. Thank you. Christopher Robinson, is that what it is? Christopher Robinson, hello. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate all of you. Yeah, thank you. Christopher Robinson. Nice. Decades of Music Time Machine. Yeah, you're very welcome. Again, thank you. Kit Kat, I see your messages there as well. Thanks again, Kit Kat. You're awesome. Nancy Downey, you said answer me. I'm trying to get to your question. Apologize. Doing my best here. Yeah, Barry Medley. Exactly. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Barry. Okay. Yeah. Okay. If you're just joining right now, by the way, let's wrap this up here. It's getting kind of long. But anyway, if you're just joining right now, I would say this much. Go back, just watch the first like 10 to 15 minutes of this video. That's all you need to watch. Okay, that's it. I discussed all the details there. When I got into the chat box, obviously we've been going all around answering all kinds of questions, going off on rants, doing all kinds of different things. So you don't need to watch the part here in the chat box at all. But I would say, if anything, just go back and watch the first like 15-ish minutes of this live stream, and you can get all the details there. And I discussed everything that's going on, what the president has said about a week ago, about 2 months ago, everything like that, discussing where we're currently at, answering a whole bunch of questions, kind of clarifying, just discussing where we're currently at with all this. Okay, I've been getting a ton of questions, hundreds and hundreds of questions over the last few days. I mean, honestly, probably a couple thousand questions over the last week or so. Just a lot of communication coming in. A lot of people really want to know what's going on. When is it? When are we going to get it? How much is it going to be? Who? When are they doing this? Is it really coming in October? Is it really coming in November? All these different details like this, which I covered here in this live stream. So, yeah, anyway, Corey, if you're listening, if you want to come and help me out, that'd be awesome. Otherwise, I could send a text message, which I have drafted. Okay, let's do that. But anyway, make sure to stay tuned. We've got a lot of things going on. October is historically the most important month of the entire year for fixed income beneficiaries. Next week, we're supposed to be getting a boatload of announcements out of Social Security. If we're still in the government shutdown, it won't happen. We will not be getting those announcements out of Social Security if we're still within a government shutdown. So just be aware of that. I will continue to keep you updated. I'm hoping that it opens up before then, because honestly, I don't want to get a delay on all this information. There's way too much to cover here. And beneficiaries need to know. We need to know so we can start planning our lives for the next year. But regardless what happens with those announcements out of Social Security, we will for sure 100% getting the opening of Medicare annual enrollment. And again, make sure to call them. Again, phone numbers here on the screen. I'll put it down below in the description and the top of the chat box and description comment section as well. make sure to call them. Again, I partnered with Chapter Medicare here on the channel for free so that those of you here in this community can get free Medicare help. Phone numbers here, make sure to call them, especially with annual enrollment opening up next Wednesday. It's going to get nuts, absolutely nuts, okay? My objective is to help as many as I possibly can, make sure that you have the proper coverages for the upcoming year. According to the back-end analytics here on YouTube, about 250,000 of you, 238,000 of you in this community are 65 plus right here in this community that watch these videos. It's a lot of people that need help, and you're getting it for free right there. All right, anyway, please have a nice evening.